Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's stream. Oh, here we go. The fun of it all, right? We've got one, happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. So that's going on. And two, if you were on the stream this last Tuesday, you heard this poor CR-10 just groaning for help. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So Amazon was kind enough to deliver me a fan. And we're going to hop into this box and we are going to replace said fan and get this guy sounding right. So, I'm not even going to delay. I need to get this repair done. So let's hop in here and let's take a look at what we got going on. So you guys can see the main controller box, CR-10V3, Creality, same box we had last week. And I am going to open this guy right on up. So first thing we got to do is get through this bottom plate. Which is these 5 wonderful bolts. All right, so we got those off, and handy-dandily, the bottom completely opens up. Pretty straightforward on that part. There's my 5th one. All right, try to keep all my screws and everything where I can find them and not lose them this time. Hey, Mr. Midden, how's it going? That's going all right for me. Just gonna be fixing this poor CR-10V3's fan issue tonight. So we got a noisy fan. That's what we've got. So it just needs a replacement and kind of just to really kind of just get it out there because I haven't pulled the power cord yet. Shouldn't sound like that. So, I mean, it is groaning. It just sounds terrible. When it should be nice and quiet. So, now the Creality projects can be fairly quiet. And I've actually replaced this fan once before, and unfortunately it has just... The thing that people got to remember about these fans is these run. Depending on how you treat your printer, these can run 24/7. I mean, they can run all the time, and they can brown out fairly quick because Creality does use a stock line of hardware. So, but this one is just way off. So. Sorry, I'm trying to capture this screw. I don't want to lose it in there. Basically, all I've got to do is take off these 2 right here, and this whole fan will come out, which is what I want. Now, I will show you guys I've replaced fans in here. You notice a nice Noctua right there in the back. Because these poor CR printers in my shop, they get used hard. They get used real hard, and especially these CR-10 series. And it would be nice if this V3 would cooperate. It's my own fault that it doesn't, but we're gonna try to get her quiet like her buddies. All right, here we go. So there's the fan, and you guys can see where I soldered in the fan last time. We're gonna just redo that connection again. So, and the fans that I choose for this that work really well are these It's a German fan, the NB Black Silent fan. It works really well. It fits really nice. And tomorrow, if I remember, I will try to put a link in the description for this. There we go. So nice, simple fan. Look at this one to see if I can see any reason for it to be so noisy, but I don't see one. I don't see anywhere where it would scrape or anything, but it sure just wasn't being kind, so we're going to replace it. So how's your night going, Mr. Murden? Mr. Mendon? How do you actually pronounce that? I'm terrible with names, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. So. All right. The nice thing is with this fan, I don't need a buck converter. That's one of the nice things about this one. I don't have to change the voltage or anything for this in this box. So that comes in really handy with these fans. Trying to knock them down to 12 volt or whatever can be a real pain. Minnesota Dawn. Oh. All right. Pop that one free. Pop that one on. Nice. What'd you have to do to get your SV06 working again? Because I know after this, I've got two CR-10V2s that decided for some reason to both clog. I gotta go out and work on them. Well, that's the goal this weekend, is to get the filament printers happy, and then I have to leave for a few days, and yeah, lots and lots going on. But this control box, it shouldn't be sounding how it sounds at all. So I will be glad to have this task off my list, because you can see the CR3 or the CR-10V3 frame over there. If you're looking up at the picture of me, I think it's off to the left of me back there, off to my right. To me, it's off to my right. So the print head blob, yep. I've got to do the repair on the on my Ender 3 S1 Pro. I've got to do the blob repair. I finally got the parts for it. Just haven't had time to work on it. All right. So you guys can see I took the old fitting, because this is a 2 plug. The fan comes with a 3. So I wired it in black to black, red to red. I'm going to cut this away. So bye-bye old fan, bye-bye noisy thing. I'm gonna strip these real quick. All right, we're gonna set that aside there. And then I'm going to actually come in and I'm just gonna clip that. I'm gonna take that 3-point end off. And I'm gonna pull this back to reveal my 3 wires, which I just need the red and the black. I'm kind of hopeful too. I just did a firmware update on this board. So my Octoprint was saying my firmware was broken. I had a bad set of firmware on this too, so I'm kind of hoping that takes a little bit of effect, but we will see. I'm gonna strip these off. I'm going to take the white one because I'm not going to use it, and I'm just going to tuck it back up in this grommet because I'm not going to use the white wire at all. I just need the red and the black. And that's where this thing comes in handy. So I just realized, camera's upside down. Rotate, rotate. Ah, there we go. So I'm going to use my thermal, what are these called? They're called solder and seal connectors. I'm going to use these to connect it together. So what's cool about these is inside there's a bead of solder. And it's already heat shrinked. So all I have to do is actually heat this up and it will wrap around the wire, the solder will melt and fuse my two wires together. Pretty darn cool, which means the main tool that I'm going to be using tonight is a heat gun. All right, so let's do the first one here. These things do really make it nice and simple. I really do like these solder and seals. They work really well. They're not very hard to work with. The only thing is I just don't have a great heat tolerance. So it kind of becomes a bit of a problem at that point. But you guys can see I've got the two metal pieces in there. I've got it. Whoops, I just pulled it free. But basically I want the two bearings of metal at the solder joint right there. Now all I got to do is bend this black wire back so I don't heat it up. I apologize, I know my hand is right in the way. So I've got it sitting there. I've got the two wires under the metal, and now all I got to do is heat it up. No crimping, nothing. And this is a solder, so I don't have to worry about it pulling apart. And boom, that wire is done. One more to go. Just don't burn yourself when you're doing it, which is my concern about this black wire back here. He may have gotten a little, yep, he did. He got a little hot. That's okay. And what's cool is I think this kit was like $25, but it comes with so many different sizes. It just really is a handy dandy kit. I really like that kit. Actually, I think someone gave me this as a gift. Because they know I do 3D printing and modding and all that kind of stuff, and they were kind of like, here, I think you can use this. But it makes it really handy because I'm not sitting here trying to crimp a wire together. I'm not trying to sitting here with a hot soldering iron. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's just heat. There we go. Nice and soldered. I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to set it well away from me. so I don't burn myself. Safety first. So yeah, Don, this is definitely, it eliminates the need for that tool, and it shrink wraps and everything all in one shot. So it is really, really handy. And like I said, the set's not that expensive. So now I'm going to plug in power. I'm going to make sure the fan spins, and then we'll start reassembly. Now that sounds a lot better, doesn't it? That's what we want. So now I just got to put this all back together. Then we can put it on the printer over there and fire it up and see how life is going to be. But always when you're working in the control box like this, disconnect the power. Always disconnect the power. That's just safety. All right. Now we're going to get this guy bolted back in, which honestly a lot of times is the hardest part of this process. Because I have big hands and it's not that easy to really get down in here. So my trick is just get one started, so you have the wiggle room to get the other ones started back in. So it's one of those things, always read about your printer before you do something like this. Make sure you got the right voltage for the right type of fan. This is the one that multiple people have recommended, this fan, so that's why I chose it. The Noctua in the back there is a good one for the back. It works really well. Their Noctuas are always quiet. A lot of people get on to me, oh, that's just hype, blah, 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 blah. But you know, I've never had a problem with Noctua, other than wearing them out. I have worn them out. And if you guys are just joining us or curious, go check out the YouTube short that I posted today, and you can hear the sound of this thing being horrible, because it was being horrible. Like, I didn't even want to turn it on in the print shop. That's how loud and obnoxious this was. I just didn't want to even have the printer on, and that's not a good thing, because this printer should be on and making me money. So all right, I gotta put these two side screws in that hold the power supply in place. It's the only two screws that are a different size in this process. I've done that too. The fans on the computer, that's always cringeworthy when that happens. I thought I had a fan going bad on my 3090, and I was like, oh no! Now, a lot of times too, when I do these replacements, I will replace both fans. So I'll replace this little back one back here normally, and I replace this one, which I think I've now done to all my CR-10V2s and V3s. Is put those in. They work really well. I think this guy was just a bad one. Actually kind of feeling right there, yeah, it doesn't feel right. I should have caught it. You guys can see from the dust on the blades, this guy had been in there for a while. But he doesn't spin like he should either. So it could just be a bad bearing, could be who knows what. So Now we've got the power supply mounted back in. We've got everything set. Now we just need, well, before I make a mess of all of this, because that would be horrible, I'm going to close that up because we all know I tend to be a little bit klutzy. Yeah, it is. I hate it when fans in the computer case go bad. I really do, because it makes me just want to get rid of the whole computer and start over. And I know my gaming computer over there, when we bought it a couple years ago, I mean, that guy was with the 3090 and everything was over $5,000. Yeah, I remember when computers were like $2,000. Now they're like, I'm seeing stuff out there that are like 10 grand. I'm like, what in the world? Does it have diamonds in it? Does that thing process at the processing power of the Enterprise? What's going on here? But people like ornate stuff in their computers now these days. I guess I'm just kind of old. Mine has some LEDs in it, and you know, unfortunately I have to keep the side open because it gets too hot, but you know, whatever. It's a Zydex gaming rig with a 3090 Ti in it. It's gonna get hot. That's just the name of the game. As long as you keep it clean, keep the computer happy, check the filters, it does great. That's about the best way to go, Don, is just ignore it. Unfortunately, when you have a budget. But I also, when I purchase a tower like that, I'm purchasing a tower to last me minimum 5 years. Minimum 5 years. All right, and just so you guys can see, the box is reassembled. Everything's looking good. We're gonna plug the power back in one more time and make sure we're nice and quiet. That is how it should sound. No grind, no brrr. That's how it should sound. So this guy is happy. Everything's looking good. This one, I did update the firmware. It says it's the CR-10V2, but it's actually a CR-10V3. So a lot of people are like, well, I bought the V3. The only difference between a V2 and a V3 is the extruder. That's it. You either have a direct drive Titan or you have a standard extruder. And this guy is now correct and happy. And I'm going to turn my camera a little bit. We're going to go plug this guy into his printer. Oh. All right, take the power cord. We're going to fire up the whole apparatus. And that is a happy CR-10V3. All I gotta do is get a spool of filament, put a holder on her, and give her a shot at being back to work. So that is one more machine, hopefully going back into my arsenal. Everything looks like it's connecting, plates are moving. I'd say she's nice and happy over there. Now it's got to pass the printing test. So I will probably do that over the weekend here, make sure it works okay. The printer box itself definitely sounds a lot better. Where it was just kind of groaning roar. Now it's very tolerable. And the printer itself, now I'm ready to level it, put some filament in her, and send her on to town. So hoorah, we have a fixed CR-10V3. That makes my day. And I do apologize too, guys. I know some of you are catching in going, Mike, where's your usual videos? I'm gonna be honest, life stuff has kind of been getting in the way, and I just haven't had really time to make my usual media. So hopefully we'll be getting back to normal here very, very soon. Because even I need a little bit back to normal. Mike's making fun videos because I enjoy making the videos for you guys, and I hope you guys do enjoy them. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're watching now, make sure you hit the like button. It's free and it helps out the videos all the time. Lets us grow and be better. So I know that was only a short, quick hop through of replacing it, but hopefully you guys saw some neat tools like the solder and seal kit. That's always kind of handy, and I'll try to get links into the description tomorrow. But also the handy dandy fan. This is what we installed. These work really well. Just every once in a while you get a bad one. That's what happens. So hopefully everybody's going to be enjoying. Hope you guys will be enjoying the St. Patrick's weekend. If you're out and about, be safe. I plan to hide here at home. I got enough printer work to keep me busy for quite a while. So, but with that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the quick replacement video. I know it was kind of hard to see. The cameras don't let me get you into the box. But definitely catch up with me next week. Unfortunately, this coming Tuesday, we do not have a stream. I will be out of town. So, just kind of is what it is on that one. We'll resume the next Tuesday. Who knows? You might get another one on like next Friday or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that kind of goes. About getting some good content out here. I'm hopefully going to be spending a lot of time doing recording and stuff this weekend to make sure you're getting the content that you guys enjoy. And if there's something you'd like to see on the channel, make sure you put that down in the comments down below. Who knows, this next video, you may see the Ender 3S1 Pro down here and me doing a replacement on its hot end since the blob broke wires and the printer committed suicide, basically. I've also got to do a belt replacement on an Odin. Let me know if you want to see the belt replacement. The belt's wearing out on the build plate. So that has to be fixed so the build plate moves correctly. And honestly, while I have the build plate off, I'll probably do a wheel replacement just to... Since I have it off, the printer's got a lot of, if I've used it, you can tell I use those Odins if I've worn a belt out. So we'll do a belt replacement on it. We'll get that ready to rock and roll. Get that guy back up there because those Odins are just gold of printers. I love the Focus Odins. If you watch Amazon, a lot of times you can get them for very decent, like around $170 to $200 if you watch the sales on Amazon. But literally take that thing out of the box, 4 bolts, level the bed, give it a print job. It's ready to rock. So, and that's a true direct drive. There's no hidden Bowden tube like on this thing. But yeah, so that's all I've got for tonight with the CR-10V3. It's back up and running. I've got a couple, well, actually here, I'll talk about this real quick. So, I was working on a Venator. You guys can see there's stuff wrong with it. A lot of stuff wrong with it. The printer clogged during the print process. So what I'm thinking about doing, there's a lot of the ship here. A lot of it did print. I was thinking about doing a crashed Starship diorama. I'd have to fix back here, probably bury some of it. Ruptured in the middle, maybe some of the decks open in the hangar where you can see down in. It's kind of what I'm thinking. If you guys want to see me do that here on the live stream, definitely comment it down below. Because there's enough of that Venator, I don't want to just throw it away. I want to make something of it, and that's kind of my plan. So But unfortunately, like I said, I got to keep this one kind of short tonight. I'm glad we got that done. That's one task off my list. We'll get that V3 hopefully nice and happy and printing again. And I appreciate everybody that joins. Hopefully you found some of the information, some of the tools useful on doing this process. And again, if you've got a process, 3D printing is not my main income. No, it's my secondary income. My main income, I'm an IT engineer, and I've just been spending more time at work than usual the last few weeks, which is why I'll be honest, I'm not getting video content and stuff out and stuff like that, is I'm just having to work a lot more and a lot different hours due to some transitions. So, but these guys, the 3D printers I have, they pay for themselves basically and give me some play money. So they pay, you know, a lot of times my filament printing jobs have paid for it. Different things like that. But also I have so many projects that I do for myself that I bring here onto the channel and stuff like that, that it kind of just makes some really cool stuff. And of course the channel, I make revenue off the channel that goes it back into the printers and into this. So that revenue is constantly being reinvested, new cameras, different things like that to kind of make this better. Because this is what I enjoy. Who knows, maybe one day this will be what I get to do all day. That would be pretty awesome. 3D print, teach 3D printing, talk about 3D printing, fix it, and play with models. Because, I mean, we have plenty of models over here that just need some love. And if you're wanting to learn how to paint military figures, go check out Joe Hudson's book. It is a great reference guide to printing or to painting military minis. So, but if you want to see model painting and those miniatures and stuff like that, go check out my channel, Rise of Miniatures and Models, where I do that kind of stuff over there. That is just a little baby channel. It's just getting started as I have time to post stuff on there. I'm working on a Gundam Wing project. You may honestly see a video on when I get closer to getting this guy, this Primaris Librarian done. And I talk about tools and methodology and stuff over there quite a bit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for everybody coming out. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment down below if you want me to do a Venator crash site. And I thank you guys. And if you want to see any of those other repairs I mentioned with the damaged belt and the Ender 3S1 Pro hot end replacement, let me know. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys in the next stream or the next video.